uns alle zusammenkommen.
De China à Pérou,
Taïchini, Xinhe, Shanin.
Pour le rouge royal et bleu,
Harvard tem seu vermelho.
Moranheira e Cardo,
मगर पेंसिल्वेनिया के लिए
Akato Aukiru. حلوة حلوة بنسلفانيا
Mabuhay sa pula at bukal.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah. Hurrah for the red and blue.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Rudy Altamirano. I'm the Director of the International Student and Scholar Services and the Director of Immigration and Integration Services. I would like to welcome you to the University of Pennsylvania. Before we start, I would like to introduce my colleagues who will be joining us for this wonderful event. Lily Zhang, who is the Senior Associate Director of International Student and Scholar Services. Lily, can you wave to the crowd, to our audience here, the virtual audience? There you go. We have Ryan Villanueva, who is the Assistant Director for Integration and Community Engagement. There's Ryan. We have Jackie Bilek, who is our Global Student Outreach Specialist. There's Jackie. And Niall Miller, who is our Marketing and Outreach Coordinator. Say hi, Niall. There you go. So we are very, very delighted to have you. But before we start, let's do some poll here and get to know where are you from. We would like to know which part of the world are you from. So let's start the poll, and we would like you to vote so that we can see where are the people coming from this morning or this evening or this afternoon. As we wait for the poll, we are very, very excited to welcome you to Forerunner. Forerunner was established in 2015 when we started in Beijing, China. So basically, without COVID-19, we fly to the part of the world and meet new students and parents in your home country. However, in the midst of COVID-19, travel is not allowing us to do that. In 2016, we, from Beijing, China, we went to Mumbai and Delhi, India. And so basically, we have been doing Forerunner from 2015 to 2019. We started Forerunner Africa in 2017, and we're about to embark on Forerunner Americas this year. However, due to COVID-19, we were halted by our plan. However, in the coming years, we are excited to again go back to the world and see you in your respective places. We are very excited. We will be joining about 7,000 plus international students from all over the world, from Albania to Zimbabwe. We're very excited from Europe, from Americas, from Africa, the Middle East, and of course, Asia. Penn is a very global university, and so we are very delighted that a new cohort will be joining us to enrich the Penn international landscape.
From the poll, we see that a majority is from Asia, with 69% reporting. We have 3% from Africa, 12% from North and South America, 10% from Europe, 1% from Australia, Oceania, and 5% from the Middle East.
Okay, wonderful. So we are covered all over the world. So your Penn lives begin on Forerunner Global, because this year is very special since we are not allowed to travel much. But there's a silver lining to this. Even though we're not flying to your respective continents or your respective countries, we're able to offer the first Forerunner Global when we can reach all corners of the world. And so we're very delighted. What happened this coming year is that we will be introducing you to the Penn global community. You'll be meeting with people, you'll be meeting with staff, you'll be meeting with faculty, and you'll be meeting with fellow students. And we are very delighted. ISS, you have to remember that acronym, ISS, International Student and Scholar Services, will be the first, or maybe the first office that you interacted with when you applied for your I-20 or DS 2019 for your visas. And it might be, and it will be your last office to interact with before you graduate, because you might be applying for unemployment authorization before you leave the University of Pennsylvania. I will be introducing videos throughout the whole entire portion of this program so that you will be meeting with high-level administrators in the university. And the first video that I would like to introduce is from our Dean of Undergrad Admissions, Eric Furda, to say hi. Eric Furda, we welcome you. Come on, join us, Eric.
Hi, it's Eric Furda, the Dean of Admissions at the University of Pennsylvania and a proud member of the class of 1987. Hurrah, hurrah, Pennsylvania. I want to give a warm welcome to all of our international students, undergraduate, graduate, professional, transfer students, wherever you're coming in from the world. Over 100 countries usually represented on our campus each year. A warm welcome to all of you as you start your Penn journey. The community that makes Penn so special is a community that you are adding your voice to. International voices, students from around the globe, across your countries, bringing your perspective. That's the strength of the Penn community. Behind me, you can see Penn Medical Center and Franklin Field. I look forward to the moment when we can all be together on Locust Walk and in these beautiful spaces. But until then, your voices matter, and I want to make sure that they resonate each and every day in the classroom and in other parts of our community that we're building together. Once again, congratulations and welcome.
During this Forerunner session this morning, we will be providing you with an introduction of different themes, and that will include global and safety at Penn, wellness at Penn, and introduction to ISS. As I've said earlier, introduction to Penn Global is very important because we take pride that Penn is a global university. Of course, one of the concerns that we have from parents and students is how safe is Penn? How safe is Philadelphia? And we will be excited to share that we are a very safe university. Wellness is very important, especially in the midst of COVID-19. And our Dr. Benoit Dubé, our Chief Wellness Officer, will give us an overview of what's happening in the state of wellness here and health status here in the university. And finally, Amy Gadsden, the Associate Vice Provost, will give some perspective on what it takes to be global. And I'll introduce to you ISSS, your home away from home in the University of Pennsylvania. With that, I would like to start with a welcome from Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, the Vice Provost for Global Initiatives. He is the Chair of the Department of Medical Ethics and Health Policy, and also the Diane Levy and Robert Levy University Professor. Dr. Emanuel is a renowned professor. He's a medical doctor, but it's also, you will see him in CNN, MSNBC, all over the network. He is also sometimes writing op-ed articles in the New York Times. Dr. Emanuel, please welcome our international students.
A warm welcome to all new incoming international students at Penn. The world and Penn are in uncharted territory. Never in Penn's 280-year history have we as a community faced an interruption of the magnitude now being imposed upon us by COVID-19. Some of you may not be able to join us in person this year as we commence academic activities. For those of you who do come to campus in Philadelphia, your year is going to look different. As we continue to work out all the arrangements for having you come to campus, I want to challenge you to stay engaged with your peers, stay engaged with your studies, and try to learn and treat this as a whole new experience. We'll be there with you every step of the way. That's why Penn Global exists, to make sure that you transition well into Penn and that we can help you along the way through challenges. I just want to close with a little story about how Ben Franklin came to Philadelphia himself that first time. 17 years old, he left from Boston on September 25th. He traveled by boat down to Manhattan. He wasn't actually hoping to come to Philadelphia. In New York, he wanted to get a job as a printer, but there were no jobs to be had in New York. Someone told him to go to Philadelphia where there was a printer job available. He left the tip of Manhattan, wanting to go just across the East River to New Jersey and then begin his journey down New Jersey to Philadelphia. But a storm overtook him. He spent 30 hours in a little itty-bitty rowboat that got blown not going west towards New Jersey, but east towards Brooklyn and Long Island. After 30 hours, he finally landed in New Jersey. He was filthy, hadn't had anything to eat, and then he had to walk 40 miles to an inn to spend the night. He walked 30 more miles the next day after staying at the inn down to the Delaware River. Finally, on October 6th, 12 days after he started, he arrived in Philadelphia. He had endured storms, near shipwreck, rowing, walking hundreds of miles, suspicions about him, to finally land in Philadelphia. He persevered. He established himself as a world-class printer. He earned enough money in less than 20 years to retire and live off all his earnings. That's Benjamin Franklin's perseverance. You're coming to Philadelphia? I assure you, whatever the hardships are, your trip won't be nearly as bad as Ben Franklin's, and it won't take 12 days. But you can learn a lot from him in persevering and trying to find the opportunity in Philadelphia. We're going to look forward to welcoming you to Penn, Ben Franklin's University, and to a wonderful year with us. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, I have a quiz for you guys. How many countries are represented by Penn students? How many countries are represented by Penn students? Let's see if you can guess. Is it 50, 60, 70, 90, 100, or more than that? Let's see. I remember coming to the United States in the early 1980s, in 1983, to do my schooling here in the United States as an international student. And I was so delighted to be able to join. I remember that first trip to campus in the 1983. I arrived in winter when it's very cold. I come from a country when there's no winter. It's summer every time, the whole year. And lo and behold, arriving in winter in the United States was not an easy task for me. It was very cold. I remember it was minus 40 degrees. And I cannot describe how I felt. When I left the airport going to, outside in a very cold wintry night, I thought I will die. I have never felt that kind of sensation in my skin. It was very cold because in my country, the only feeling of winter is when you put yourselves or your head in the freezer of your refrigerator. And so that was my first experience. And however, that was the beginning of an exciting life for me as a former international student. The university, the United States, they molded me to who I am right now. And I'm very proud to be a director of an office that serves people who are international students like me. So again, let's see if there's a result for the poll.
We have received the results, and let's see here. 6% of you said 92. 27% of you said 103. 37% of you said 117 countries. And 30% of you Got it right with 135 countries. So congratulations to
Excellent.
30%.
Thanks, Ryan. Yes, we have more than 130 countries represented in the University of Pennsylvania. So while walking on campus, you will see, you don't have to ride a plane to travel. You will go from Japan to Korea to France to Germany to Kenya to Nigeria to South Africa, Israel to Lebanon to Turkey in one walk in Locust Walk. It's a fascinating campus. Locust Walk is where you will see people from all over the world. And we cannot wait to see you here, see you in the Locust Walk, enjoying the landscape of Penn. I want to tell you about Penn as a global campus. As you can see, we have a lot of Penn Global divisions under the Penn Global. And of course, we have Perry Wald House. Perry Wald House is one of the most, it was inaugurated a few years ago, and it houses global scholars. If you are coming to Penn in fall, you will see its beautiful new building. We host and conduct our programs there. We have Penn Abroad. If you want to travel, if you come to Penn, of course, you're already traveling abroad or you're studying abroad, but also you can go back and travel abroad and study abroad in many, many parts of the world. Penn Abroad, that office sponsors and hosts study abroad programs, also global, program seminars, Penn Global Seminars, and the global internship program. We have the Global Support Services, and this is an office that deals with what's happening outside the University of Pennsylvania. And of course, International Student Scholar Services, I will talk about that more because I direct that office, is one of the umbrella organizations of Penn Global. And we're very honored to serve you through ISSS. Okay, let's go to safety, because this is one of the big questions that you're asking. And you know what? I'm sure, and it's very, very normal to ask, is it safe to go to Penn? It's safe to study at Penn. It's safe to live in Philadelphia. I will ask my colleague, Maureen Rush, who's the Vice President for Public Safety and Superintendent of Penn Police, to tell you how safe the University of Pennsylvania is, how safe the city of Philadelphia is. Maureen, Vice President Rush, can you tell us about safety at Penn?
Hi, my name's Maureen Rush. I am Vice President for Public Safety and Chief of the Penn Police Department. On behalf of all the men and women of the Division of Public Safety, welcome to Penn and congratulations. By coming to Penn, you're joining the Penn family, and you're also joining our family in the Division of Public Safety. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about our division and how we will be here to support you throughout your career at Penn. So the Division of Public Safety is 24/7. The phone number is on the screen here, and that is the number that you can call from any place, anywhere, and you will receive a response and you will receive help. Some of the areas of the Public Safety Division that are probably important for you to know is that we have the University of Penn Police Department. We have 121 Penn police officers who are full police powers. They're armed and they're very well trained, and they're 24/7 as well. And then we have the Allied Universal Security Officers, the Penn Patrol. They're on patrol on the streets right alongside the police officers, but they're also in the college houses, in academic buildings, etc. The important thing to know is but whether it's police or security, is that if you need a walking escort, you can get one 24/7, and you call our walking escort number, or you can just walk up to anyone you see in a uniform, and they will make sure that you're well taken care of and escorted to wherever you need to go, home, library, your dorm, etc. A couple other areas that are important for you to know: Special Services Department. So our Special Services Department supports our faculty, staff, and students in options counseling. So if there's an unusual situation or a relationship issue or anything that you're not sure where to go, feel free to go to the Special Services Department. They will triage where you can get the best service. It may be with them, or maybe with some of our partners across the university, but they're a great first stop for you to make. Another thing that we want you to do is we have a great program called the UPenn Alert System. We send out UPenn alerts to our community if there is any threat to the community that's ongoing. So register your cell phone. We'll notify you via that, via your email, and also our website becomes a UPenn Alert bulletin board. Our website is on the screen here as well, and you can go on and find all sorts of information about us. And so finally, I just want to say, when you chose Penn, we chose you. Welcome to the Penn family, and welcome to the Division of Public Safety family. We're here for you. Congratulations and good luck. We look forward to seeing you.
How many consecutive years has Penn been #1 in safety and security in Security Magazine's top 500? How many years in a row has Penn been #1 in Security Magazine's top 500? I am as part of the university administration, I am very honored to be part and was invited to be a member of the Division of Public Safety Advisory Board. I've been doing that since I arrived in 2006. And so for 14 years, I am very delighted and honored to be part of Vice President Rush's Public Safety Advisory Board. And I can attest you that it is they're doing an amazing job making sure that the campus and the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding areas at Penn are safe. I am honored and informed every time Maureen Rush, when she's leading these monthly advisory board meetings, she's been sharing updates and keeping the university and the community apprised of the work that the Division of Public Safety is doing. How many years in a row has Penn been #1 in safety and security in this magazine's top 500, similar to the Fortune 500 magazine?
So we had 121 of you vote, and you all actually did vote for the right answer overall, which is 13 years. Penn has been #1 in Security Magazine's top 500 for 13 years in a row.
That is amazing. Thank you. That's amazing that you were able to guess that. For 13 years, every year, Vice President Rush updates us during the Division of Public Safety Advisory Board meetings. I am very impressed. For 13 consecutive years, Penn Public Safety of all the universities across the United States is #1 when it comes to security. So that's a goal. I hope that can calm your fears. Penn is a very safe campus. Of course, anywhere you go, wherever part of the world, of course, there will be some safety and security questions, but Penn is doing a phenomenal job when it comes to that. Tomorrow, you'll be meeting with a lot of students and student leaders who will be interacting with you during our session tomorrow. We'll be bringing wonderful student leaders of Penn, international student leader volunteers, who, some of them are sophomore, junior, seniors, and they will be role-playing with us and interacting with you. And we will talk about coming scenarios in safety during tomorrow's session. Now it's time to go to health and wellness, which is another question that is, in your mind because of COVID-19. And so I'm very delighted to ask our colleague, Dr. Benoit Dubé, the Chief Wellness Officer and also the Associate Professor of Clinical Psychiatry, to give us the state of the university, updates on what is happening in the University of Pennsylvania when it comes to wellness and health status in the university. So Dr. Dubé, take it away from here.
Welcome to Penn. I'm Dr. Benoit Dubé, the university's Chief Wellness Officer. I'm sure this is not the fall semester you had envisioned, and I want to tell you, well, it's not for us either. As you know, the university has embraced a hybrid model, and so have we, for all of health and wellness services. This means that counseling sessions and primary care visits can be had either in person or via telemedicine or video conferencing. We don't just want to see you when you're not doing well or feeling so great. We also want you to join us and have fun learning about new things or new skills, such as sleep hygiene. Our staff are there to support you in those ways as well. Now, as you embark on this new academic semester, I want to leave you with 4 tips, if you'll allow me. 1, share your feelings. Let's be honest, there's probably lots of them bottled up inside. Don't keep them to yourself. Find someone you trust, someone you love, and share your emotions with them. And 2, take a break and disconnect. We also have to recognize that there's a lot of things over which we have no control, but choosing to disconnect is not one of them. Claim your agency and take a break from the news or from social media. But 3, don't disconnect from people. It's important to continue to text, phone, email, or video chat with friends as you navigate these challenges, both associated with the pandemic or with the academic challenges of this school year. And 4, and probably most importantly, take care of yourself. Take time to savor simple pleasures, such as drawing up a gratitude list, for example. If you can't take care of yourself, first and foremost, everything else downstream will be more difficult. I hope this advice serves you well, but remember, we are always here to support you at Health and Wellness Services. Welcome to Penn.
I have another poll here, and this is more of your opinion. What are your biggest wellness concerns? And of course, wellness covers a lot of things. It covers your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. This, especially in the midst of COVID, even before COVID, we are it's very important for us as a university to take the pulse of our students in terms of your health, because health is wealth, as we say it in many, many parts of the world. But health is very important for you to succeed in the University of Pennsylvania. As I've shared with you earlier, I'm former international student yourself, like myself. And basically, when I came to Penn, this is very important for me when I meet with students, because I was, as a former international student, I know when I got sick, when I was studying, when I was, still an international student, it was hard because it impacted my academics. And so basically, I remember during the time that I have to be very careful, that follow the advice of Dr. Benoit, Dubé, and make sure that you are engaged and you are following those advice. Sleep well, of course, exercise. I don't have to tell you this. Eat well. Those are the big 3 things. And of course, have fun. Balance your life. Not all academics. Make sure that you give yourself a well-deserved break. Give yourself a reward after a big, big exam. Any wellness concerns update from the chat room or from the polling station here?
Yes, thanks, Rudy. There are a number of concerns for sure, and we're living in a world with many unknowns and anxieties. So thank you all for sharing what some of your most heaviest concerns are amongst getting enough sleep, maintaining a healthy diet, mental health, exercise, stress, and loneliness. It seems like stress is the one that most respondents responded with. So I think Dr. Dubé's advice can help with that, but we'll be sharing with you a lot of different ways that you can engage with us and manage that stress.
Thank you, Ryan. Again, Dr. Dubé's team will be joining us this week. If you and your parents have questions about the state of wellness and health here in the university, we will make sure that someone from the office address some of your questions and your concern. As you can see here, here's the Wellness at Penn, a slide that will show you we as a university is very putting health as a priority. There's the Wellness at Penn campaign and program. There's the campus student health services, the campus health. There's AOD. And so check for the latest information about health and wellness guidelines. You can see here in the slide here, and we will also share the recording here. I just want to make sure that you know what is under the Health and Wellness Division of the university. There's the Student Health Service, making sure that you avail of that when you get sick or ill. There's CAPS, or counseling and psychological services. There's campus health, where they provide programming when it comes to enhancing your health and well-being. The alcohol and other drugs, the AOD. And of course, with the constant changing guidelines, we would like you to be sure to visit the COVID-19 FAQ page regularly for updates. And we will be providing that. That is the Coronavirus UPenn EDU Students Families Students FAQ. We will share that later in the program. So we are almost close to ending this session, and then we might engage with you in some capacity, but we would like to talk about the International Student Scholar Services, an office that is dear to my heart. And I would like to ask Dr. Amy Gadsden, who's the Associate Vice Provost for Global Initiatives. She is also a global educator and an amazing, amazing supporter and advocate for international education, for international students. And I think Penn is very, very fortunate to have Dr. Gadsden to be at the helm of leadership, because I can attest to that, because I partner with Amy, Dr. Gadsden, day in and day out, and I can tell you, and I can vouch for the fact that she is an amazing supporter. She is taking that helm, making sure that your needs and your concerns are taken care of. Okay, Dr. Gadsden, Amy, why don't you take it from here and welcome our international students and scholars.
Welcome to the University of Pennsylvania. Our international students and scholars contribute to our campus life in immeasurable ways. And this year, we are so fortunate to welcome over 1,400 new international students from 90 different countries to our campus. Our international students are key to our identity as a global institution, and we celebrate your joining our community. We know that international students have faced many challenges in recent years, particularly this past year. And we thank you for sharing your openness, motivation, and determination with us as you begin your Penn journey. With your perspectives from around the world, as well as your cuisines, customs, and couture, you bring the world to Penn at a time when it is more critical than ever that we engage with our global community instead of retreating from it. Your presence at Penn, your perspectives in our classrooms, will not only open up your own world, but will help to expand the entire world of possibilities of life at Penn. Let's face it, this is not going to be a normal year, but know that in all of your endeavors, academic, extracurricular, social, intellectual, your Penn family is here to support you. Reach out to Penn Global if you have any needs or questions. We're glad you could join us for this Forerunner program, and we look forward to working with you and supporting you throughout your time at Penn.
Thank you, Dr. Gadsden, for that wonderful welcome. I have another poll for you. Are you ready for this one? The question is, how many international students are there at Penn? Total. I think I gave you a clue in the early part of this session if you were listening. Again, I am very delighted to lead an office that serves so many international students. And when I meet those students in my office, I don't have to pay. It's the most economical but the most enriching travel that I do. From the morning to the afternoon to the evening, I'm dealing with students from all over the world. And so amazing to share, amazing experience to share stories, hear their concerns, listen to their accomplishments. We at Penn and we are at ISSS, we're very delighted and we're very, very enriched by your presence. And so we would like you will be joining this number of students, because when you join us this fall, I will guarantee you will have an amazing experience, because you'll be meeting not only all these international students, but many, many domestic American students from all over the world. Are we getting some pulse of how many international students are there at Penn? What are the initial results saying?
So it looks like a number of you were paying very close attention earlier to Rudy, because most of you guessed the right answer is we have more than 6,800 international students in the Penn population, almost 7,000. So good job to all of you who were listening earlier and selected the right answer.
Thank you, Jackie. That is a good. I am very delighted that you are listening. You know, this is a very attentive group, and we're very excited to interact with you soon. Yes, there's about 7,000 international students, as I've said earlier. That's a lot. Or, you know, we have a typical medium-sized university, and to have that many international students on campus is fascinating, and you will be joining them soon. So I would like to talk about the ISS, because this is your home away from home. This is an office that you will be dealing with the first time you arrive, whether virtually or in a hybrid environment. We provide two dual services. One is the immigration services, which is we provide immigration application document processing. We provide immigration advising. Very important for you to know, because this will make you, without your support in making sure that you're availing of these immigration services, it's very important for you to know that, because this will help you succeed in your academics. If you are not maintaining lawful immigration status, that can immediately impact your personal life, can impact your academic services, your academic experiences. And so make sure that you are interacting with us, you're connecting with us when it comes to our immigration services. However, one thing unique about Penn ISS compared to our colleagues in the United States is that we also provide that other piece, and that's integration services. We believe that you are not just a demographic. We believe that you're an important part of the global university that makes Penn an amazing place to study. We provide a lot of intercultural and partnership programs across the university. We provide orientation, social and academic programs. We provide exciting opportunities for you to interact with people, not just with international, but also domestic students. And we also offer a lot of programs that will introduce you to the resources and the wonderful staff partners in the university. With this, I would like to also acknowledge the great work of the team of ISS. Work hard so much. Of course, as you know, we were bombarded by so many presidential proclamations and executive orders in the last several weeks. And I'm telling you, I am so proud with the team of ISS, because they're working hard, managing all the high volume of email and phone inquiries on a daily basis. So if, for example, for myself, I receive about 100 on a day, what more with my colleagues, because they're doing the frontline work. So I really applaud, and I hope you will be meeting them soon, because they will be working with you in your life here at Penn. I will now talk to turn over the microphone to Lily Zhang, who is our Senior Associate Director for ISS. So he will give you some tips about immigration, because immigration, you might think, is, what is it? Why does it have something to do with me in a Forerunner? It is very critical for your adjustment. You have to know about immigration in order for you to survive, even before you travel to the university and to the United States. Lily, why don't you do this? Go for it.
Well, thank you, Rudy, for the introduction. Hello, everyone across the globe. I'm very honored to be part of the Forerunner team and welcome you to the University of Pennsylvania. I imagined that many of you have received I-20 or DS 2019 from ISS, issued by my colleagues. We're excited to help you and have summarized 10 most important immigration tips in order to start your journey to US and study at Penn successful. Let's run down the list quickly. Number 1. Make sure your planned arrival day in US is no more than 30 days earlier than your I-20 start date. With September 1st start date, plan your trip after August 2nd. Number 2. you can request a travel support letter from your school. This is in response to SEVP's guidance that students are only allowed to come to US when the school is not totally online. This letter will clearly justify that and can be used during visa interview and show to the CBP officer at the airport. Number 3, your CVIS record will not be activated until you enter the US. Number 4, if Penn's overall course format changes while you are already in US, for instance, from hybrid format to online format, you will not be required to leave the country. Number 5, read all emails from ISSS and check our coronavirus webpage for timely immigration updates. The URL is spelled out there. As you know, US government could establish new rules impacting international students. So we really need all of you to stay tuned. Number 6, after you arrive in US, complete the arrival e-form in IPEN. Only after verifying the information collected by the e-form, ISS staff can activate your CVIS record. Number 7, if you're beginning your study online abroad and arriving in person at a later time, you will contact your academic school or department to let them know. ISS will work with them to adjust your I-20 if necessary. Number 8, always maintain a full course load. Typically, 4 course units for undergrad study and 3 credits for graduate study. Once ISS activates your F1 or J1 status, this is a rule that you have to follow. If you have exceptions, you will need to talk to ISS advisor and get special approval. Otherwise, your I-20 will become invalid. Number 9. However, especially this year in 2020, as a new student, if you take courses online outside of US, the course load requirement may vary by program. So you will need to check with your academic program first. Number 10, the most important one that I want everyone to remember. Not to engage in any unauthorized employment. Always check with ISS in advance. Please know immigration law, they're very unforgiving, and unauthorized employment have very deep negative impact to your immigration status. So we want you to remember. With that, I will give the floor back to Rudy and welcome everyone to University of Pennsylvania again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Lily and our advising team are very excited to work with you. Lily, like me, is also a former international student. And so we both knew and both know what your experiences are, and we can, of course, empathize and understand your concerns and your needs as international students. With that, I would like to remind you that the Forerunner Global that we're offering for the whole week is very important, and I'm glad you are joining us. Of course, this will prepare you to your Penn journeys, and I've said that following week, the following days, will connect you with current and incoming students. You will hear from Penn alumni, which is very important, a very successful Penn Group alumni, and learn from university staff and faculty about how to be successful in and out of the classroom and the campus resources that will help you along the way. So I would like to talk to you about what's happening. Today we finished the introduction to Forerunner and welcome to the University of Pennsylvania. Tomorrow, Tuesday, July 28th, you will be navigating the Penn experience with 5 current students, both grads and undergrads, international students. You will be engaging with them. And I'm so excited to introduce them to you. On Wednesday, you will be hearing from faculty Penn faculty and Penn staff. I will be moderating a conversation with those Penn faculty and staff, asking them questions that you would like me to ask for them. And of course, I'm sure you're excited to know more. On Thursday, we will be getting the perspectives from Global Penn alumni. And we are very delighted and honored to have great alumni from all over the world to join us. And on Friday, July 31, it will be a parent information session. But it doesn't mean you don't have to. You don't have to attend because it's only for parents. I think you can join your parents, in going to that session, because you might get new perspective, new information that maybe your mom and dad will be asking. So with that, I would like to end with a wonderful welcome to Penn video. Again, I'm Dr. Altamirano. I am very, very honored. Welcome you to Penn. We're very, very excited. Even virtually. I wish I can see you soon, face to face. But for now, let's do it virtually. On behalf of the University of Pennsylvania, the Penn leadership, the Penn faculty and staff, and the students, international students, and of course the domestic students, we are so honored to have you at Penn. We'll end with this wonderful video from all over the university. Welcome you to this wonderful University of Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Penn. I'm a Penn student from Philadelphia.
Welcome to Penn.
Mabuhay. 欢迎来到 Penn.
Enquanto metachu, I am from Ethiopia.
Welcome to Penn. I'm from Los Angeles, California. We're from Penn Central. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. 欢迎. Welcome to Penn. Muna casa neza. Kalasipis to Penn. Welcome to Penn. We're so excited to welcome you home.
Howdy, buddy. Welcome to Penn.
मेरा नाम सैयद नोमान कादरी है और मैं शुक्रिया.
The Kenyans at Penn want to tell you Karibu Sana.
Welcome to Penn. See you tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday. Thank you. Welcome to Penn. And we'll have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, and whatever part of the world you are in. Thank you. Looking forward to see you soon.